Hi, my name is Coldbeer and let's start this Steam Winter Sale RPG video with Titan Quest Anniversary Edition. In this version of the game you will get better resolution, larger camera distance, multiplayer, mod support, Steam achievements, improved enemy and pet AI, countless bug fixes, dozens of new heroes, and so on. People on Steam are talking that the game has stunning level design, great monster variety, wide selection of skills, great voice acting and music, also it makes your balls bigger and the amount of content overall is more than satisfying. Well, I'm not completely sure about that balls part. I may have lied here, do not judge me and grow them on your own. Titan Quest is a great game, one of the most loved by the action RPG community, and I couldn't recommend it to you enough. It's literally like a potato itself in a delicious potato salad. Although which part of potato salad is the most important one is a debate of a century. Some say it's potatoes, some say it's the doctor's sausage, and I say it's the love you put in when making your own fermented pickles for the salad. Outward Definitive Edition. This is an open-world survival game with Souls-like combat mechanics. In this edition you will find both DLCs, new weapons, dungeons and also several life quality improvements. Game has only a mostly positive review score on Steam, but it doesn't do the justice. Most people who are giving a dislike spend 40 to 60 hours in-game, and that honestly looks like some kind of masochism. Well, let's be fair, to play Souls-like games is a form of masochism as well, so I probably shouldn't be surprised that these people who don't like the game play it for days anyway. If you don't like the game, just don't play it. If you don't like anything, just avoid it instead of doing it. Like Warren Buffett once said, always take the easy road and you will get there first. There is no need for suffering if you don't like to suffer. Anyway, Outward is like Skyrim and Dark Souls had a weird hybrid baby, and instead of abortion, this time they decided to keep it. So if you like both of these games, why not? Outward has some problems, but in general it is a nice game. Atom RPG Trudograd, or as I call it, Soviet Fallout Union. Because it is basically a Fallout game, just here instead of a wanderer you will be called Comrade-a-lot. You will be thrown into alternative history. In 1986 the Soviet Union and the Western Bloc were destroyed in mutual nuclear bombings, and you are one of the survivors of the nuclear holocaust. Your mission is to explore the wild and wondrous world of the Soviet Wasteland. Because, you know, you can get wasted here in so many meanings. For example, once I just ran into a minefield and died. I just ignored some danger mine signs and went to communist paradise with angry people standing in long lines to buy some doctor's sausage made from cardboard, perestroika everywhere, and Belomorka null cigarettes. Or maybe to communist hell full of capitalist money, sex and supermarkets. Anyway, here you will stream for the better communists tomorrow, and along with that you will have to investigate stuff. Various stuff, a lot of stuff. Trudograd is the second part of Atom RPG, but it's completely standalone piece. You don't need to know anything from the first part. And to be honest, I like Trudograd way more than the first part, so I'm recommending it instead. Also keep in mind that this is not a Russian game. You can buy it and you won't be supporting Putin in any way. That is great. Mass Effect Legendary Edition. If you like science fiction space operas, Mass Effect is one of the best there is. It has a great plot, many twisted turns of events, mystery on every corner, giant robots, giant spaceships and giant space stations. So as you can see, it is filled with giant things and size does matter here. The whole game kinda feels like someone smashed together Star Wars, Battlestar Galactica and Star Trek. You will also find a cast of great characters as well, and it has 93% of positive reviews on Steam, meaning that game is lacking only mere 2% to be in an overwhelmingly positive reviews tier. By buying Legendary Edition you will get all 3 remastered Mass Effect games with all the DLCs and other stuff included and remade in one huge game. If you never played it, I envy you beyond words. These are among my most favorite games of all time. King Arthur Knight's Tale. It is a role-playing tactical game, a kind of unique hybrid between turn-based games like XCOM and traditional character-centric RPGs. Here you'll find diverse battle maps where you'll have to position yourself to avoid shield walls, flank your enemies, use covers against archers, make use of the terrain, hide in the foliage and surprise your enemies with your endless wisdom. The campaign of Knight's Tale puts a huge emphasis on moral choices, which have significant consequences in a roguelite structure. This adds extra attention to the tactical and management decisions, meaning that your characters are expendable and if they die they will stay dead forever. Also here, along with smashing monsters, you will have to build up Camelot Fortress and unlock new upgrades for your knights. The Forgotten City. Game started its life as a story mod for Skyrim, and it was so well received by fans, developers decided that they have to dig the vein of gold and thus make a separate game. The Forgotten City, as a lot of gamers point out, is Groundhog Day in an ancient city. The mechanic here is simple. Everyone around you is dying, and you have to prevent that. If you succeed, all good, but if that is still happening, terrible dying of everyone, you can just go to the portal and restart the day over and over again, until you solve the thing. It's really one of the best adventure games there is, and if you go to Steam you will see the overwhelmingly positive review score. Death Trash. This game is awesome. It is set in a semi-open world divided into a few zones. You will spend a lot of time in underground facilities and dungeons as well, but it has a completely different approach to narrative compared to casual games. You never know what to expect. Also, here you will encounter extensive player freedom, from manual save games to the fact that any dialogue can be left anytime. Also, here you can kill everyone or don't kill anyone. That is the spirit. That is the cash of Death Trash. Highly recommended, especially if you like games like Diablo with a hint of pixel art. Okay, with a lot of pixel art. Kingdom Come Deliverance Royal Edition. This version includes the base game and all the DLC, so if you never play the game, it's the best version you can get. And the Kingdom Come itself is basically a realistic Skyrim set in medieval Europe. It has a great story, interesting missions, and a really beautiful world set in an ancient part of nowadays Czech Republic. So grab your wooden sword and show everyone who's the real boss of Czechia is. Spoiler, not you probably, because at first you are very lame and puny. The harsh reality of level 1 villager that decided to become a warrior is not very pleasant. Imagine yourself being level 1 at anything. That is not nice. Level 1 penis doctor, imagine that. No, just no. But you will learn and armies will fall by your feet, sooner or later. Probably way later. Planescape Torment Enhanced Edition. This classic game has been updated with a 4K interface and a remastered soundtrack, so it was reborn again with a new beautiful face, a thing most of us will never have. But don't let the pretty paint job fool you, this is still a story-rich tactical RPG with a massive world that will rock your socks off, although honestly not as massive as your mama. World of Planescape Torment is filled with interesting creatures, devils and other strange beings. Game features 5,000 pages of dialogue, so there is way less combat and a lot more exploring and reading. People who made it had a serious writing problem, and that's okay, I have it too. Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice. Bound to protect a young lord who is a descendant of an ancient bloodline, you become the target of many vicious enemies. When the young lord is captured, nothing will stop you on a perilous quest to regain your honor. Well, except death. Death will stop you many times. Keep in mind that Sekiro is the creation of the same developers as the Souls games, and it's meant for people with masochistic tendencies. If you hate yourself, this game is for you. Although I have one piece of advice on how to easily beat this game. It's very simple. Stop being a noob and get good. This is a single-player, non-combat cyberpunk RPG. You are a game detective who solves crimes inside virtual worlds by using your wits to gather information from your witnesses and suspects. Also get to the bottom of deceptive schemes, save lives and investigate the relationships between virtual worlds and their inhabitants. The game continually adapts to your choices and never judges, just like your dog does. Also, it sounds a bit like Disco Elysium, and that's a great thing. Although keep in mind that here you will not find any battles and no fighting is available. Pick it up only if you like to read and carefully analyze sentences in dialogues. Conan Exiles. This is an online multiplayer survival game with mounts and mounted combat set in the lands of Conan the Barbarian. Here you will enter an open world sandbox and play together with friends or, with creepy strangers as you build your own home and even a shared city. You will have to survive freezing cold, explore loot-filled dungeons and develop your character from lowly peasant to a mighty barbarian. Also fight to dominate your enemies in epic siege wars. People on Steam are talking that the game is a bit buggy and that can be annoying, but it also has boobs in it, so for this you can forgive almost anything. Wasteland 3 Colorado Collection. I will say bluntly, if you like tactical turn-based games, this RPG here is a must-play. It's not a recommendation or something, but the law. You must play it if you want to go, to Gamehala after your death. Well, I'll be honest, Gamehala is not the best of Valhallas you can choose after death, but honestly, we play games like that, so nobody ever would invite us into Boobhala. Anyway, this version of the game includes both the Battle of Steeltown and Cult of the Holy Detonation expansions, as well as the Colorado Colorado survival gear bonus items. And the game itself is a wonderful gem for all Fallout, Baldur's Gate and all turn-based combat fans. In Wasteland 3 you will travel to the frozen wastes of Colorado to deal with gangs, cults and psychopathic clowns in an effort to bring stability to the wastes. Or, you know, even more chaos and even more psychopathic clowns. Here decisions really matter and the world will change accordingly to your actions and reactions. Wartales. The discount is kinda small, but the game has 91% of positive review score on Steam, so I would say it's fair enough. It has been 100 years since the world saw the fall of the once great Edoran Empire at the hands of an unprecedented plague that swept the nation. So prepare to lead a group of characters in a huge open world where combat, death and thirst for riches will shape and define your day-to-day life. You are not a special chosen one ushering in a new era of peace. Nah, your goal is solely to survive. Well, and thrive in this harsh and hostile land. From the most insignificant petty thieves to the land's most notorious figures, there is no such thing as a profit too small to take. Remnant from the Ashes. This is a third-person RPG shooter where the world has been thrown into a chaos by an ancient evil from another dimension. Or as one gamer on Steam pointed out, they just ripped off a plot from Neverending Story. That's a shame, but in general this is a great game. If I had to describe it in one word, it would be RPG Dark Souls with guns. Yes, that is one word, if you throw out the gaps. So here's one of the last remnants of humanity. You must set out alone or alongside up to 2 other survivors to face down hordes of deadly enemies, rebuild and retake what was lost. The strongest side of the game is various guns and weapons. They are really good looking and fun to use. Cyberpunk 2077. I have no doubt that many of you are wondering, is it finally the time to play Cyberpunk 2077 and is it actually fixed? As you all remember, game had a lot of issues back then. Police instantly teleporting behind your back was just a cherry on the top. The game was released without advertised metro system, which was literally specifically shown in the main trailer of the game. Driving cars felt like driving a sandbag, and I'm not even talking about the lack of such casual features as a hairdresser. You had to play the whole game with the same dumb green beard and pink eyebrows you chose while being drunk. Anyway, after some time, major updates and fixes are slowly turning it into a decent game. You can already change your haircut and the police are teleporting a bit further away. It still literally feels like they teleport though, and that sucks. Recently, developers said that a complete overhaul to the cop system as well as vehicle-to-vehicle combat is in the works. When it will be updated, nobody knows. Now the game has mostly positive reviews, but recent reviews are very positive with 90% of happy players. That is a great result and I am happy that Cyberpunk is crawling out of the dark place finally. Darksiders Genesis. Here you will tear your way through hordes of demons, angels and everything in between on your way to hell and back, with guns blazing and swords swinging. The game has really great humor and a very positive reviews on Steam. It is really well balanced to play not only in single player but in co-op mode as well. In general, this is a solid hack and slash game. It's kinda obvious that developers put a lot of work in this game, although it's not flawless as well. The camera angle and its overall functionality will fill you with rage more than it should. Some people on Steam are even saying that this is the worst camera they have seen in years, and those virgins know their stuff really well, so keep that in mind before you buy. Operencia, the Stolen Sun. This is a classic-style first-person dungeon crawler which will take you to the land of Operencia, an unconventional fantasy world inspired by a faraway land referenced in countless Central European folktales. In-game you will find an intriguing mix of unexplored mythology and fantastical versions of actual historical locations and characters, all coming together to form one cohesive new gaming universe. Along with a strategic turn-based battle system full of spells and special skills to execute, tile-based movement encourages you to explore each area. You will find 13 intriguing maps here. Game has 78% of positive reviews, and that is mostly because of the difficulty. Normal here is very hard. Last time I encountered this nonsense was while playing Jedi Fallen Order. I died a lot even in story mode. So I don't know if other people are so much better at games and I just suck, or developers are a bunch of madmen. Probably both. Anyway, if you like dungeon crawlers and challenges, this may be your potato salad. Also, you can try the free demo. That may help to make up your mind. Divinity Original Sin 2. Made by the same studio as Baldur's Gate 3, this is one of the best party-based RPG games ever created. Here you can play as a lizard, wizard, or skeleton knight, and the world will react to your appearance. Or not, if you are a skeleton, you will have to hide your face under the mask, because people here are afraid of the undead. I wanted to say that it is ridiculous, but then I realized that the real world is full of people who believe in ghosts and other supernatural things and are afraid of them even if they do not exist. And here undead can actually take a knife and slice your throat just like a casual bandit. That's really scary. Also keep in mind that this is a serious game for adults. It has dark and gloomy world and sexual content. But don't worry, it will keep your virginity as strong as ever because it will take about 200 hours out of your boring life, and that is really amazing. Pillars of Eternity 2 Deadfire, which you can play without any knowledge of the first part, to be honest. Here you will pursue a rogue god over the land and sea, captain your ship on a dangerous voyage of discovery across the vast and explored archipelago region of the Deadfire. Also, have you noticed how all the names in fantasy games and books have some doomy and gloomy meaning? Region of Deadfire, lands of crying souls, mountain of doom, sea of sorrow, river of endless suffering, forest of dying sins, and so on. While in the real world, all those places would probably have way less terrifying names given to them by locals, such as Region of Rocks, Lands of Dirt, the Volcano, Sea of Water, River of Fishing, and Forest of Pedophiles. Yeah, this is an exception way more terrifying than Forest of Dying Sins, to be fair. Don't go there. Anyway, all the names are way less poetic in the real world, so in Deadfire you will bend the world to your will as you explore the depths of endless possibilities, including detailed character customization, total freedom of exploration, and meaningful choices at every turn. Okay, maybe not all of those are meaningful and probably not at every turn as well, but the game is great. Bad comments on Steam and GOG are quite rare. Usually people are complaining about the loading speed, and to be honest, it's a blasphemy to even call it a loading speed. It's a loading sloth, and that's at best. Deus Ex Human Revolution Director's Cut. This is a stealth-based game, meaning that you can shoot your way through the enemies or sneak up behind them without being traced, hack systems to retrieve information, or use your social skills to extract information from key characters. There are always choices, multiple approaches, multiple paths, and multiple tools at your disposal. People on Steam are talking that Deus Ex is really enjoyable, although very linear. But in this instance, the linear aspect is a good thing, because despite the fact that the game is guiding you in your path, it doesn't hold your hand or penis, and you are free to approach every situation as you please. And as I've mentioned before, the ways of playing are really numerous, and the only limit is your imagination. That also means that everyone without imagination has no limits at all. Let it sink. Yeah, also I can promise that in Deus Ex you will find many amazing music scores. The game has a really exceptional soundtrack which is creating an amazing atmosphere. Gedonia. This is an open-world role-playing game inspired by old-school classics. Here you'll become a simple traveler and adventure seeker. Explore a huge world, progress your character in any way you want, discover hidden treasures, mysteries, and fight vast array of enemies. Here you can become a powerful mage, strong warrior, agile assassin, not assassinagiler, or a charismatic leader. Also in Gedonia you will be able to own a house where you can grow plants and farm animals. They sort of implemented Stardew Valley inside this fighting and exploration RPG game. That is great, we all need some relaxation after a tiring dungeon exploration and grow some eggplants in our spare time. The game is created mostly by one man and it has very positive reviews on Steam, and this price is a joy for my eyes. Dragon Age Origins Ultimate Edition. This is the Dragon Age game that is beloved the most, and this version of the game includes all 9 content packs and even Awakening expansion where you will become the commander of the Grey Wardens and embark on a new campaign. You fight new enemies, learn new spells, and fend off the advancing Darkspawn forces. People on Steam are talking that even if this game looks and feels a bit old, you can just download and install 100 mods or so and make it look new and shiny again. Well, I have some doubts about that new shininess, but in general it's not that old and it's enjoyable nowadays. The main story will take about 40 hours to complete, and the expansion will take additional 50 hours of your time. That is a great deal, no doubt. Icewind Dale Enhanced Edition. Made with the same Infinity engine as a classic Baldur's Gate, Icewind is a more battle-oriented game. You will find less side quests and less story, but you will enjoy an amazing atmosphere because the game is really detailed. Also, the party is entirely player-made with no other NPCs offering to join at any given moment. Although this is an enhanced edition, don't expect anything fancy or modern. Yeah, graphics are improved, quick loot is implemented, all the expansions are here, and even quests you never seen before. But those are not new quests, they were just cut off from the original release back in 2000s. So this remaster is like a new paint on an old building. The face is new, but the body is old and it plays like an old game as well. Be aware of that. Asterigos, Curse of the Stars. The game was released less than 2 months ago and it's an owner of very positive reviews. In this high fantasy world you will discover the long-forgotten secrets, interesting battle encounters, interconnected maps full of places to explore, and an immersive story where every choice matters. The game is really fun if you like light Souls-like battles and can enjoy a bit of cartoony graphics, but not everything is nice. Game has no map, like at all, so you will have to remember all the places in your head. That of course creates another level of immersiveness because you will have to use your actual navigational senses you usually never use in games. But do we actually want that? I don't think so. Anyway, if you decide to obtain it, the game will take about 30 hours from your boring life. Book of Demons. It is a surprisingly good game, ignored by many just because of how it looks. It has great lighting effects, but those paper figures are definitely not for everyone. Anyway, here you can decide the length of the quests, wield magic cards instead of weapons, and slay armies of darkness in the dungeon below the old cathedral. Yeah, I bet you heard that somewhere. People on Steam are talking that Book of Demons has great replayability with a variety of combinations, interesting art direction, and fast, non-boring gameplay. Although some are saying that the game can become a bit monotonous, but I'm pretty sure that it can happen because of the skills and spells you use. If your build is not fun enough, you will get not enough fun. Simple, right? So Google some nice builds before you play. Let there be a bit of Book of Demons among big boobed MILFs in your search history. Anyway, the game has 91% of positive reviews and it's kinda cheap. Stolen Realm. The game has a simultaneous team turn system implemented for faster combat and character scaling, meaning that no matter how many people will join you on your quest, the overall difficulty of the game will stay the same. Here, more than 240 skills in 8 distinct skill trees, 500 items and fun rewarding activities will keep you entertained. Game is in early access, but it already has very positive reviews, so it's a great sign. People are talking that the game is really enjoyable, but best if played in a group of 2 to 4 people. For example, I don't have this amount of friends, so I will skip it and keep my virginity strong with other games, but if you have a buddy or two, invite your both mothers-in-law and have fun together. And after that, of course, you can try this game. Legend of Grimrock. This title is perfect for those who like pineapple in potato salad and well-done steaks. Oh wait, it's a mistake, it's an absolutely different game and it shouldn't exist. This game is perfect for dungeon crawling fans because Legend of Grimrock is one of the best there is. It has a modern execution but an old-school heart. A group of prisoners are sentenced to a certain death by exile to the secluded Mount Grimrock for vile crimes they may or may not have committed. Probably they put pineapple in the potato salad and cooked steaks until they were well done. If that is so, just leave them to die, they are not worthy. Okay, I'm kidding, you are a generous god and you must help everyone in need. So you are in charge of them and you will have to travel to ancient crumbled ruins, mysterious shrines and vast underground network of dungeons and mines. If the prisoners wish to make it out alive, they have to overcome all the challenges, form a team and descend through the ominous mountain. Although be warned that this game has one very annoying feature. You will be searching for hidden buttons all the time and that is not fun at all. So if you like this video, there is another. Click on it and you will enjoy even more short reviews of the games I have made specifically for this Steam Winter Sale event. Also, subscribe, you know that you like it here. Thank you for watching, have a nice day and I'll see you next time.
Bye!